Do we have another dramatic situation similar to CM Punk happening in 2019? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Tony. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Tango with Ango. And today we got lots of news stories we're going to talk about. You guys by now probably already heard about the Dean Ambrose news. We got lots of news, lots of updates in regards to that story. And we're also going to talk about the WrestleMania 35 main event, as well as an Impact Wrestling superstar looking to sign with WWE or All Elite Wrestling. So if you guys are new here, make sure you guys click that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, let us know what you guys think in the comment section, and as always, click that subscribe button and join the Destination Pro Wrestling family. So let's just kind of jump right into it. Everybody's talking about Dean Ambrose. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm referencing, Dean Ambrose news came out this past weekend. It dropped last night. Really interesting. Basically, Dean Ambrose said that he's not going to sign an extension with WWE. And that was the reports that came out. And of course, everybody just jumped right away and said, oh my God, Dean Ambrose is going to AEW, he's going to Impact, he's going independent scene, whatever it may be. A lot of people jumped to conclusions right away. And although we don't know exactly what's happening here, we got a little bit more information. And one of them being is confirmation from WWE, which is definitely rare. But WWE did in fact confirm that Dean Ambrose will not be extending his contract going into 2019, 2020, etc. So WWE made a statement today saying, hey, we wish him the best of luck. Basically, he's not going to be coming back. He's not going to be extending his contract. And they would love to see Dean return back to WWE some point. And this is actually really huge when you're the WWE, because typically when it comes to contractual situations like this, WWE always remains silent. And some people are thinking, you know, now that AEW is like this new thing where they got a lot of money, maybe this is going to change WWE's behaviors. I could definitely see that being the case, but WWE, I think they're trying to show that this split between Dean Ambrose and WWE is amicable. There's nothing about Dean Ambrose that's making them think that he's going to go to a competitor, which is obviously why they're allowing him back, is basically what it sounds like. And, you know, a lot of people have said for a while that Dean Ambrose didn't seem like he was happy in WWE. They said when they watched his promos and they watched his matches, they said it just seemed like him leaving was the inevitable. And I've seen this a lot on Twitter, and I've seen this a lot on social media just in general, where people thought Dean Ambrose was on his way out. And then, of course, Dean Ambrose comes back, it's repackaged, they do some things change, obviously, but he's on television. And it looks like, you know, with him leaving WWE, if it is in fact a good split, if this is something where it's positive and he's not pulling a CM Punk situation, then I think WWE has nothing to worry about with Dean Ambrose. Now, if Dean Ambrose leaves WWE, goes to AEW or Impact or whatever it may be, then things are going to completely change for the pro wrestling world. Chris Jericho recently tweeted something about WWE and Impact and ROH and how they're only interested in like 6 to 8 talents. So a lot of people don't know if there's like some sort of thing that they know about the Dean Ambrose situation. Whatever it may be, it just sounds like it's all a coincidence. I don't think we should ride on those details, because I don't think AEW has a chance at signing Dean Ambrose. And the reason for this is because Dean Ambrose specifically said previously on podcasts and things like that, he's come out and said, listen, once he's done with WWE, he's going to go away. And this is really interesting because his wife is still employed by WWE. If you guys didn't know, Renee Young is his wife. She's the first ever full-time female commentator for WWE Raw. And she uses social media. And we kind of see a little bit more of her behind the scenes than we do Dean Ambrose. So when Dean Ambrose says that he's going to kind of ride off into the sunset, you know, this makes a lot of sense. He's not a heavy social media user. This may be a situation where Dean Ambrose is just gone. And maybe one day he comes back. Maybe one day we see him in the Royal Rumble. Maybe one day we see him back in the WWE ring. But as of right now, it doesn't look like there's any drama. It looks like it's a peaceful split. It looks like he's just done wrestling. And it's really interesting because he's still a fairly young guy. He's been with the WWE for 6 to 7 years. But if he's done with WWE, you know, he got to accomplish some things. Whether you love Dean Ambrose or not, he got to accomplish a little bit. And I think that's a really good thing. Obviously, he's always going to be known for being in the Shield. The Shield will always go down as one of the best factions in WWE history. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about Dean Ambrose leaving WWE. Do you guys agree? Do you guys think that maybe he's not going to show up in a competitor brand? I mean, whatever it may be, Dean Ambrose is definitely on his way out. Whether he shows up for AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan is definitely the question. Like I said, I think this was a peaceful split. I think we're not going to see him in a wrestling ring for a very, very long time. On to the next story for the day. Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch is the confirmed main event for WWE WrestleMania 35, but as of right now, that may actually change. A lot of people are reading the reports and things have come out on social media, things have come out on dirt sheets, that Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch may be having a triple threat match with Charlotte Flair. Keep in mind, this was the rumored main event about last year, and then people thought, hey, no, it's just going to be Becky and Rousey. And if you guys watch Monday Night Raw, you're probably thinking Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch one-on-one doesn't even need Charlotte Flair. But it sounds like WWE, knowing that this is such a historical moment in professional wrestling, it's the main event, it's the first ever main event for WrestleMania 35, featuring only female superstars. Obviously, they might try to insert Charlotte Flair, and it's kind of written on the wall. It makes sense, but I don't know if I agree with it. So the rumored match for WrestleMania 35 to end the entire pay-per-view will be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. And this would be a situation where WWE is actually looking to unify both women championship belts. I don't know why. I don't get this theory, but I understand with these reports when they're coming out talking about Charlotte Flair and why WWE may want Charlotte Flair. I get it. She has the name Flair in her name. And WrestleMania, it's historical. And looking back, 20 years from now, Charlotte Flair has already been, she's already become like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 100-time women's champion. So 20 years from now, when they look back at the women's evolution, Charlotte Flair is going to be the one. She's going to be the poster child for that. And obviously, you can't have a WrestleMania 35 main event without her. Even though we're all fans of Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey, you cannot have this match without Charlotte Flair in the eyes of the marketing team for WWE. And it makes sense. As a company, I can see why they're going to rely on that. I don't think it's a good excuse. In fact, I think it's a crappy excuse. But this does make sense for the WrestleMania 35 main event. And I think as far as the mainstream audience goes, a lot of people are going to look at it as, hey, Ronda Rousey is competing against Ric Flair's daughter. And I don't like that, but I think that's kind of what we're going to get from the mainstream media. And obviously, Becky Lynch right now has completely changed the entire women's wrestling industry due to her insane amount of growth. We obviously saw her win at Royal Rumble. She's completely over. We said it before. Basically, this is equivalent to Daniel Bryan and the push he should have received. I think it was 2014 when he didn't win at the Royal Rumble. Whatever it was. I don't know. But still, at the end of the day, it's insanely incredible to me that WWE may want to include Charlotte in this feud. Obviously, they've kind of been planting this all along. But for WrestleMania 35 being in New Jersey, it's going to be a very big main event. And whether or not Ronda Rousey sticks with WWE after is going to be interesting. But I got to say, guys, I don't see Ronda Rousey walking out with that title. I don't see Becky Lynch walking out with that title. I know that's what you guys want, and I want that too. But it looks like WWE is going to make Charlotte Flair the one walking out. And that might garner some very negative attention. And for our final story of the day, we're going to talk about Matt Sydal, a.k.a. formerly known as Evan Bourne. If you guys didn't know, his contract with Impact Wrestling just recently expired, and it looks like he's looking at possibly joining All Elite Wrestling or WWE. Now, according to multiple reports, it said that AEW and WWE have some interest in signing Evan Bourne. For WWE, it would be more so for 205 Live. AEW obviously looking for a nice, explosive high flyer. And I think both companies could really benefit from this guy. I think Evan Bourne was incredible when he was in WWE, but it was a different time period. I think now with 205 Live and some of the superstars that they've called up from NXT, I think this could be a big move. In fact, if you look at WWE and the NXT brand, moving Matt Sydal to that brand may do some very good things as well. A lot of people want to see Ricochet and Evan Bourne. Like, that's the match people want to see, and I get it. I see people talking about this all the time. So for me, I'm excited either way that it happens. Whether he goes to WWE, whether he goes to AEW is going to be interesting. And it's actually a big blow for Impact Wrestling that he may not even re-sign with them, because Impact's been doing pretty good. He did really well in Impact Wrestling, but obviously a lot of people want to know where he's going to end up, and I'm just not sure. But there's interest from both companies, AEW, WWE. What's the company that needs him the most? It's definitely AEW. They need a stacked roster. He's going to definitely do big things for whichever company he goes to. But if you watch 205 Live, Evan Bourne, definitely a good choice.
You have reached your destination.